Yamuna Tira Banasari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yasodhanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yasodhanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Banachari Yamuna Tira Banachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept our humble obeisances. All glories to Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada. All glories to our revered speaker for today, His Grace PRABHU, our revered uncle. And all glories to our assembled Vaishnava devotees. Devotees, we thank you all for being here. As always, today is Monday, the first day of the busy week. And once again, by the mercies of the Lord and the Parampara, we are gathered again today to relish the nectarian SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM. So Prabhuji, like always, we are very grateful that you could perform this tapasya, such a very odd time, your local time, to be with us and share with us your love and wisdom from the SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM. So thank you so much, Prabhuji. And without further ado, we may put the verse on the screen and then you take it over from here. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. The verse, you're going to put it on, or? Okay. Should we start?
The weakest since these of 24.
I can't hardly hear you. Okay. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Makato Vartato Brahma Purushasya Karudevaha. Yastanu Kvatva Varnanam Makya Bhut Brahmano Guru. Yeah, go up. Mokataha, from the mouth. Avartata, tata, generated. Brahma, the Vedic wisdom. Purushasya, of the Virat Purusha, the gigantic form. Kurudvaha, the chief of the Kuru dynasty. Yaha, who are. Tu, due to. Mukhatvat, inclined to. Varnanan, of the orders of the society. Mukyaha, the chief. Abhut, so became. Brahmana, called the Brahmanas. Guruhu, the recognized teachers or spiritual men. You can go up. O chief of the Kuru dynasty, the Vedic wisdom became manifested from the mouth of the Virat, the gigantic form. Those who are inclined to this Vedic knowledge are called the Brahmanas, and they are the natural teachers and spiritual masters of all the orders of society. Purport. As confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 4:13, the four orders of human society developed with the orders of the body of the gigantic form. The bodily divisions are the mouth, arms, waist, and legs. Those who are situated on the mouth are called the Brahmanas. Those who are situated on the arms are called the Kshatriyas. Those who are situated on the waist are called Vaishyas, and those who are situated on the legs are called Shudras. Everyone is situated in the body of the Supreme in his gigantic Vishwarupa form. In terms of the four orders, therefore, no caste is to be considered degraded because of being situated on a particular part of the body. In our own bodies, we do not show any actual differences in our treatment towards the hands or legs. Each and every part of the body is important, although the mouth is the most important of the bodily parts. If other parts are cut off from the body, a man can continue his life. But if the mouth is cut off, one cannot live. Therefore, this most important part of the body of the Lord is called the sitting place of the Brahmanas, who are inclined to the Vedic wisdom. One who is not inclined to the Vedic wisdom but to mundane affairs cannot be called a Brahmana, even if he is born of a Brahmana family or father. To have a Brahmana father does not qualify one as a Brahmana. The main qualification of a Brahmana is to be inclined to the Vedic wisdom. The Vedas are situated on the mouth of the Lord, and therefore anyone who is inclined to the Vedic wisdom is certainly situated on the mouth of the Lord, and he is a Brahmana. This inclination towards the Vedic wisdom is also not restricted to any particular caste or community. Anyone from any family and from any part of the world may become inclined to the Vedic wisdom, and that will qualify him as a Brahmana. A real Brahmana is a natural teacher or spiritual master. Unless one has Vedic knowledge, one cannot become a spiritual master. The perfect knowledge of the Vedas is to know the Lord, the personality of Godhead. And that is the end of the Vedic knowledge, or the Vedanta. One who is situated in the impersonal Brahman, and has no information of the Supreme Personality of Godhead may become a Brahmana, but he cannot become spiritual master. It is said in the Padma Purana, Sat karma nipuno vipro mantra tantra visharadaha avashnava guru nasyad vaishnava sapucho guru. An impersonalist can become a qualified Brahmana, but he cannot become a spiritual master unless and until he is promoted to the stage of a Vaishnava, or a devotee of the personality of Godhead. Lord Chaitanya, the great authority of the Vedic wisdom in the modern age, stated, Kiva vipra kiva nyasi shudrakene nai, Jai Krishna tattaveta Shai Guru hoy. A person may be a Brahmana or a Shudra, sannyasi, but if he happens to be well versed in the science of Krishna, then he is fit to become a spiritual master. That's from the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila 828. The qualification then of a spiritual master is not to be a qualified Brahmana, but to be well versed in the science of Krishna. One who is conversant with Vedic wisdom is a Brahmana, and only a Brahmana who is a pure Vaishnava and knows all the intricacies of the science of Krishna can become a spiritual master. Very nice verse and purport by Srila Prabhupada. I'll read the translation once more. O chief of the Kuru dynasty, the Vedic wisdom became manifested from the mouth of the Virat, the gigantic form. Those who are inclined to this Vedic knowledge are called the Brahmanas, and they are the natural teachers and spiritual masters of all the orders of the society. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Srinivadi Shatadeshatarine Vajvatavasya Kripasindevasya Patitanam Pavanevya Vaishnavavya Namo Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadha Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So I'll try to speak a little bit from what Srila Prabhupada mentioned in the purport to this verse. See, Srila Prabhupada very much emphasized in this purport, this verse, that qualification of a Vaishnava, of a Brahmana, actually he need to become a Vaishnava, because the Brahmana is a primary qualification. At the same time, Brahmana is not, if he is not a Vaishnava, he cannot be a spiritual master. That is the main point of this verse from the purport. See, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, He is the creator of all the systems of everything. Aham sarvasya prabhavo. Everything, Krishna says, that comes from me. All material and spiritual, that are his emanations from him. So he is the source of everything. So in this verse it is explained that the mouth and the arms and the stomach area and the legs are compared to his body. So actually, allegorically, it is explained that our body is similarly also very important. Every part of the body is important. You can cut off leg, and according to this purport, you can cut off the leg. If the leg, if you don't have, a lot of people don't have leg, they can somehow manage to live on with their crutches or something. Sometimes the legs are cut off due to disease, to cut the leg off, or arms. But you cannot cut off the mouth, because then you're finished. You don't have a body, because the mouth is situated at the head. So the head is very important. So the head is considered to be the head of the society, and that is the Brahmanas. The Brahmanas, they provide knowledge. Everything is based on teachings. The teachings come from the Brahmanas. And the Brahmana who teaches has to be who teaches the perfect knowledge. The perfect knowledge is the Vedic knowledge that teaches the absolute truth, the knowledge of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. And that makes one a perfect Brahmana. And the perfect Brahmana, he is a Vaishnava. So particularly, one may be a Brahmana born in a Brahminical family. But it doesn't make one a Brahmana simply by taking a birth in the Brahmana family. Because nowadays, Kali Yuga, we're living in Kali Yuga. Kalo Sudra Sambhava. Kali Yuga, everyone is as a Sudra. That is also there. This verse also says that. So, why did Srila Prabhupada go to America? These people are born in the Western family, in the Mleccha family. Doesn't make them a Brahmana, actually. But Prabhupada, one does not have to have to become a Vaishnava, one can born in any family, because ultimately it brings us to that ultimate platform of a sadhu. But one has to be a Brahmana to be a Vaishnava gradually, because if one is a Brahmana, and then from there, it can lead to a Vaishnava. But if one is a Vaishnava, he's automatically a Brahmana. You understand my point? So Vaishnava is he can be born in the Western family or any family. But to be a Brahmana, one has to be born in the Brahmana family. So it's very tricky. But all these people that Srila Prabhupada went to, made them a Brahmana, made them a Vaishnava. So if one is a Vaishnava, he can be born in any family. The Vaishnava is superior to Brahmana. But at the same time, if one, Krishna says those who are born in the Brahmana family, then from there they can gradually also rise to the platform of Vaishnava. But if one is a Vaishnava, he is automatically a Brahmana. But that's what Prabhupada emphasizes in the purport. He cannot become a spiritual master if he just based on the platform of being a Brahmana. Then our movement wouldn't progress, because everyone in the Western country, they're not born in a Brahmin family. So how is going to preach Krishna consciousness? But Prabhupada made everyone a Vaishnava. So if you're a Vaishnava, you're automatically a Brahmana. I wasn't born in the Brahmana family, but in India, there is a caste, those that are born in the Brahmana family. But those who are Brahmana, they should be preaching. They should be teaching knowledge. But many of them are rickshawalas. the driving, the pulling rickshaws. That's the work of a Shudra. But most people who are Shudras, they are Brahmanas, because the Shudras, they become Vaishnava. Kalo Shudra Sambhava. In this age, everyone is practically a Shudra. Even the president of a country is also a Shudra, because he is serving the people. So there is no head of the society. But according to Krishna, there must be a head. The head is the real, is one who teaches the Vedic knowledge, Vedanta. And the Vedanta means the end of knowledge. And the Vedanta Kit Veda Vedava, Krishna says the sum total of the Vedic knowledge, the end of the Vedas, is to know Krishna. So if you simply study the Vedas, but if you don't know Krishna, you're simply studying for nothing. The conclusion of the Vedas is to know Krishna. The end of knowledge, the source of the knowledge, the goal of knowledge is to know the Supreme Person of Godhead, the source of everything. So a lot of people who are Brahmanas, they're simply studying, but they don't have any knowledge. They don't have spiritual knowledge. So based on the Brahminical platform, they're studying and studying and studying, but they don't have the conclusion. So that's why Srila Prabhupada gave the SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM. SRIMAD BHAGAVATAM means one is the complete knowledge, and the Bhagavad Gita. So that there's so many Puranas and scriptures that teaches the Vedic knowledge, but and Prabhupada particularly mentioned in this purport that impersonal teachings, they also don't understand the Supreme Lord. So imperfect knowledge. So in the Western society, they are in the Western society, people are not Brahmanas. And it's the same thing in India. People born in the Brahmin family these days, they're not Brahmanas. They just happen to have the thread. Which the Prabhupada used to say, they have the thread to scratch their back with. But they don't use their actual Brahminical qualification. They may not even have the Brahmin qualification. They're just born in the Brahmin family. So similarly, Prabhupada, when he taught Krishna consciousness in the Western society, these people they're not born in a Brahmin family, but Prabhupada made them Brahmanas by the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. Because Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kavanai Sravanadi Suddha Chitta Karai Udai. That everyone is Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem. Everyone already has Krishna consciousness. They're born within themselves. But gradually, by being Krishna conscious, by teachings by the devotees, by the mercy of Prabhupada, the knowledge will be revealed. Because all the living entities, wherever they are eternal servant of Krishna. Underneath, we all have Krishna consciousness. And that will gradually appear by the mercy of Prabhupada. So, as preachers in Krishna consciousness, we are all preachers. And we learn this knowledge. So the Vedic knowledge is emanated ultimately from Krishna, from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. At the moment, we are reading the Bhagavatam at the temple also, the incarnation of Matsya Avatar, who appeared in the Satya Yuga at the end of the partial dissolution of the universe, where Lord Matsya, who is actually Krishna, came to protect the Vedas at the time of dissolution. So they collected all the Brahmanas and the Vaishnavas and the sages and the rishis, and particularly the Vedic scriptures, to protect it and put it all in the boat, because the world was getting inundated with water. So similarly, the the Vaishnavas, they're protecting the Vedic knowledge by distributing the knowledge. Knowledge is not just a book knowledge. There's two types of Bhagavata. One is the devotee Bhagavata, and one is the book Bhagavata. So devotees, when they speak, their behavior, everything is according to the teachings of the Bhagavatam. They already have the knowledge because they're studying it. They're living by it. They're living Bhagavatam, like Prabhupada. So, so the legs is considered to be the working class, Shudras. And then the belly is considered to be like the farmers, or they produce food for the maintain the body. And the arms are like the military class, the who protect the society. And the head, where the mouth is, where you speak, that's considered to be the Brahmanas, because they speak the knowledge. They provide knowledge for the rest of the society, for the Shudras, for the farmers, for the business class, for the Khattriyas. The head is up here, where it giving, protecting the whole body, it's providing its knowledge, because the head is you need the head to run the body. Without the head, the body cannot function. So similarly, the head of the society is the Brahmanas, because the head, and that is what Krishna explains in the shloka. This gigantic form, the Supreme Lord, his body is like that. We are situated in his body, ultimately. So it's very interesting. So the Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, that's his body actually. But every part of the body is just as important. The hand cannot say, "Oh, I will just do my own. I don't need the body." But the hand needs the body. Hand is connected to the body. It's just as important as the leg, as the stomach. Without the body, without the hand, we will not be able to do our work. So if the hand says, "I don't need the body. I can do my own. I want to be independent," then that's going to you disconnect yourself. Same with the leg. But you can somehow survive without the hand. But the head is very important, because head, it functioning. Without the head, the body cannot function. So emphasis is on the knowledge, the spiritual teachings, a spiritual master who provide the knowledge. That's what this point mentioned in the purport. So the spiritual master is one who gives that knowledge, the Vaishnava, the Brahmana. Someone may say, "Oh, I like to just study. I just like to be just like a Brahmana, very clean." And there are a lot of people like that. But Prabhupada mentioned here, one has to be a spiritual master, a Vaishnava. So how does it work? We need to be clean. We need to be pure. We need to be saintly. We need to be peaceful. These are the qualities of a Brahmana. But if you are just simply be a Brahmana and be very nice and just study all day, that is not our work. Vaishnava is like Prabhupada, a preacher. We have to travel and preach Krishna consciousness, make the world a Brahmana, whole world a Brahmana, make the whole world a Vaishnava, Krishna conscious devotees. So we are preaching a Krishna consciousness all over the world, because we've made people from any background, anywhere in the world, Brahmanas now. The people, sometimes Western people, they come to India and we're surprised to see them as Brahmana, and they have the Brahman thread. So the Brahman thread is not just you just simply have a Brahman thread doesn't make you a Brahmana. You have to acquire the qualities of a Brahmana. Similarly, Vaishnava, same. What is a Vaishnava? A Vaishnava is one who is transcendentalist, one who preaches Krishna consciousness all over the world, one who understands the Vedic knowledge, the purpose of the Vedic knowledge, not simply studying for the sake of studying himself and being himself at home all day studying or at a temple. But he goes out of his way to preach Krishna consciousness, distribute that knowledge that he knows, make others brahmanas, and that's his spiritual master. That's why he accepts a disciple. You can stand all day. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, one time he wanted to just sit down and just chant day and night, 64 rounds. And acharyas came to him. He said, "This is not what you're meant to do. You're meant to preach. You don't sit here and chant all day. You are meant to preach. You are a preacher, a spiritual master, one who takes disciples, one who expands Krishna consciousness, not just sitting in one place." How, if you sit and chant all day and study all day, what about all these people everywhere? How are they going to get benefit? How are they going to be liberated? How are they going to become Vaishnava? How will they know about Krishna? So that's a spiritual master. Why he accepts disciples? Because he's saving them from ignorance. So that's a Vaishnava. So it's the qualities of the Vaishnava is that he is doing what he is meant to do as the work of a Brahmana, because he's situated, he's the head of the society. He's providing knowledge for the rest of the society, the legs, the arms, the stomach. He is supporting it, he's feeding it, he is nourishing it to the whole body. And the body of the world is Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaisya, Shudra. Division. The society is divided into 4 categories. Someone may be very Brahmanically inclined, very intellectual, and someone may be very simple. They're very happy to just work, clean. That's like the legs. If the garbage collector don't come, there's going to be garbage everywhere. Who is going to clean? So we need legs too. We need cleaners. That's as important. And the stomach, we need food. The farmers, the business people, workers, we need them. Otherwise, the stomach, there's no food. And they go to the supermarket because nobody wants to work, no food there. So the working class is just important. The farmers that maintain or feed the belly in the form of food. And the arms, we need protection. Otherwise, the rope is going to be everywhere. Corruption and criminals, full of thieves. We need to keep society in order. We need military class, army, Kshatriya, and the head who can direct and guide and give knowledge and principles, dharma. Well, of course, nowadays there's no dharma, but I'm just saying. So the society is divided into these 4 categories. You can't say everybody is the same. We need the head, we need the arm, we need the stomach, we need the legs. They're all created by Krishna. Not everybody is the same. So this way, society can be peaceful because everybody's engaged in the work according to their qualifications. So society is divided into these 4 categories. Everyone is satisfied in their duties that they're allocated. So, but at the same time, Krishna is in the center. We have the temple, and then some devotees, they clean the temple, they cook, and then they are making sure all the temple areas are kept clean, right? And another one will manage buying food and things, and and then others who clean all the garbage, and then those who are going out buying the vegetables, and then we have temple management, temple president, those who give classes. So you can see within our own temple, there are these classifications. We need them. A whole society need them. So these are the body of Lord Krishna, the gigantic form, and these divisions are there within the body of Lord Krishna. That's why this is how I explain in this verse. All are part of Krishna, all coming from Krishna. So to equally respect. Some people say you are Shudra, you are a Brahmana, you are just a farmer, you are a businessman, you are just a Brahmana head. But you can't say like that. I remember in the Gurukul, I lived in Gurukul, and they were classifying who is who according to their quality. And then they came to me. They said, "You are a little bit of Brahmana and a Kshatriya, a mix," because I never wanted to do any work. So I said, definitely I'm not Shudra. But okay, I like to talk and preach, study. I was good at studying. I did Bhakti Shastri. I was good at it. Learned English. I was good at it. But I was lazy for working. But then I can give knowledge, and I like to be strong and be protective a little bit. So they said, you are a bit of Kshatriya and a Brahmana mixture. And then others, they say, you're just a Shudra. You don't have any intelligence. You don't study. You just like to work. And someone and somebody else, they just like to like a security guard, and they protect the temple, chokidar, stay up all night. So there are people like this. Even today, the society, we have divisions. But ultimately, all of these things are nothing, is nothing. It's just mundane without Krishna consciousness. So everything has to coordinate. The whole body has to coordinate to support the intelligence, to support the mouth where they speaks the Vedas and conclusion of the Vedas, support the head. We cut the head, the body's finished. So we have to listen to the leader. We have to listen to the Brahmana. We have to listen to the spiritual master. We have to listen to the Vaishnava, what they're speaking. We have to listen to the Vedas, because Vedas are the emanations coming from the mouth of Lord Krishna. Krishna is the speaker, ultimate speaker. And the Vaishnavas, they speak what Krishna speaks. That's what makes one a spiritual master. Spiritual master doesn't speak anything different from what he speaks, from his spiritual master speaks. And his spiritual master doesn't make up anything from what his spiritual master spoke. This way, we are speaking what Krishna spoke. We're not speaking anything different other than what Krishna spoke. That's why Bhagavad Gita is known as Bhagavad Gita as it is. So Prabhupada didn't say, in my opinion. He says, Sri Bhagavan Vacha, what Krishna said, and remained as it is. So we have to respect what the spiritual master is telling us. What makes one spiritual master is one who is connected to Krishna. He doesn't make up his own thing. That's the qualification of a good disciple. A good disciple becomes a good spiritual master because a disciple is very obedient to the guru. And he is qualified to become a guru, because a perfect disciple, he becomes a guru, a teacher, spiritual teacher. Not an English teacher, but mathematic teacher. A spiritual master is one who teaches about Krishna. That's a Brahmana, real Brahmana. Beyond Brahmana, a Vaishnava. A Vaishnava is already a Brahmana because everything is in it. If you say I'm a Brahmana, if I'm born in a Brahmin family, then all our society will be useless, because in early days, our society is made up of Americans and Europeans. So they're not born in a Brahmin family. So the whole thing goes against the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu mentioned in the verse in the purport, even if you're a Brahmana, Kivanya Sannyasi. It doesn't matter. Jai Krishna Tatavit. If you know the science of Krishna, Jai Guru Hoy, he becomes a Guru. So even if you're a sannyasi or a brahmana, if you don't know the science of Krishna, then you're not a Vaishnava. You're not even a brahmana. You're simply brahmana. And then they have the Brahman thread to scratch the back with it. So you have to acquire the qualities. It's a quality is what makes you a brahmana. Doesn't matter who you are, where you are born, where you come from. It doesn't matter. If you have the qualities of a brahmana, that's what makes you a Vaishnava, a brahmana, not by birth. So it's very interesting purport. It's very nice, nicely proper explains. So I'll stop here if you have any questions.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. As always, it's so beautiful sharing this depth of wisdom with us today. Dear devotees, if anyone may have questions, comments, realizations, you may want to ask question, please indicate by using the hand emoji or your physical hand, and you'll be asked to unmute to ask your question or share your reflections. Prabhuji, the first question I have is that, I was sharing this with my senior god brother, how fortunate I am, His Grace Srimad Acharya, that for a very long time I didn't understand. We have Lord Krishna and Arjuna sitting on in the chariot, and there is there is the horse, there is the rain, and the charioteer, and things like that. So some people liken these things to the 5 Pandavas. But Prabhupada says the Pandavas actually lived as living beings, as we know. But from there, I used to think that the soul was the driver of the body. Then I came to know that the soul, which is the most important, because without the soul, everything else falls apart, is actually not the driver of the body. The driver of the body is the intelligence. And that is why most of us are struggling and suffering, because the intelligence is the driver. And if we have crazy driver who does not listen to instructions, then we are all going to die. So similarly, the Brahmins are supposed to be the head of society. But all over the world, we see the Brahmins are not the head. It's the Kshatriyas that are the head. And if the Kshatriyas do not listen to the Brahmins, then how is there going to be peace? So how come that the Brahmins, even though they are the head, are actually not the ones ruling over each and every society, but it's the Kshatriyas that are ruling?
Yeah, the thing is, like I was saying, Kali Yuga, the age we're living, it's all messed up. First of all, Kalo Shudra Sambhava. The leaders of the society are Shudras. They're not Brahmanas. So it's all fluctuating. So it seems like whoever is strong, they take over. They lead the society, whoever is strong. Like some countries, the military, they go in and they take over. They want to run the whole society. They overrun the Brahmanas. They overrun the leaders. No respect for the leaders. There's no respect for anyone. They want to control everything. So this is Kali Yuga. So even Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, there's no respect for them. So it's the Shudras running the society. Kshatriyas, there's no real Kshatriyas also. If you talk about Kshatriya, that's Kurukshetra 5,000 years ago. They're real Kshatriyas. Now they're using a modern technology, but they don't have the qualities of a Kshatriya also. They're using, missiles and military that destroys the people. They don't. Kshatriya is supposed to fight and protect the people. The meaning of Kshatriya, Kshat means to, they hurt to protect the population. But they're killing everyone, innocent people, old men, women, and children. You see all the time the war, they drop a bomb, everyone's killed. And the guy who's just pushing on the button, they're sitting behind, not even going and fighting. They're killing innocent people. Previously, the Kshatriyas, they were, they would fight equally. If they drop their bow and arrow, then they fight with hands. They're equal, fair fight. And they're friend at night. Now the fight is only at night when everybody's asleep. So what makes you a Kshatriya? There's not even a Kshatriya nowadays. It's all cheating. And Brahmanas is just a joke. There's no real Brahmanas. So that's why Prabhupada says in the purport, one has to be Vaishnava. Because when Vaishnava, he understands what is a Kshatriya, what is a real Brahmana, what is a real Vaishnava, Shudra. Because we're not going to find a perfect Brahmana these days, a head of the society. A head, there's no head. Head is becoming a Shudra nowadays. So everybody's a Shudra. So the point is, Prabhupada's mercy, everyone can become a Vaishnava. So if a Vedic society actually was run by the Vaishnavas, the Kshatriyas or Vaishnavas, Raja Rishi, Yudhishthira Maharaj was the king. He was ruling the world. Bharat Maharaj, they were all great Vaishnavas, Vaishnava king, as well as Kshatriya. So if you are Vaishnava, Kshatriya is already in you. But don't think that Yudhishthira Maharaj was not, he was not a Brahmana. He was a Kshatriya plus Brahmana. He was a ruler. He was a Vaishnava, pure devotee of Krishna. He was always with Krishna and the Pandavas. So the thing is, at the same time, like I was saying, that there is the qualities of a Brahmana. Everyone has a tinge of Kshatriya quality, a tinge of in us. Some people are born to be like a working class. Society is divided. There are some people who are providing, they're farmers, and they're very good at it, producing food. Some people are intellectual, but they're misdirected. They don't have spiritual knowledge. That's why Prabhupada said, Vedanta, study the scriptures. The conclusion of the scriptures is knowledge. So you can't say everybody's same. Even today, there are people who are very smart. There are people who are, they're not very smart. They like to do simple things. And there are people who are really, really very intellectual. They're very clean, like everything, Brahminical. There are people like that. So, but Prabhupada is not talking about these things so much. He's trying to tell people that we should become a Vaishnava. Forget what you are, because we're not going to find a perfect Brahmana these days. We're not going to find a perfect Kshatriya these days, because this thing doesn't exist anymore. But at the same time, there's a tinge of qualities of a Kshatriya, or tinge of. So when we explain it, it makes sense. That's why it's giving this example of leg and the mouth and the arms. It makes sense. So, but the emphasis is on becoming Krishna Bhakta, develop love for Krishna. We're not Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. These things are not going to bring us back to Godhead. Oh yeah, I'm a Kshatriya, my duty. No. You have to become Vaishnava. Without Vaishnava, we're going to remain where we are. The
Well,
fish.
thank you so much, Prabhuji. So if I understood you well, what you were explaining, of course, I as you were speaking, I just remembered what Lord Chaitanya himself said, that he's not a Brahmana, he's not a Vaishnava, he's none of these. But he's simply a servant of the servant of the servant of the Lord. Now, I'm thinking, and I want to verify from you, I'm thinking that in that sense, when someone is truly a Vaishnava, then he will perform as necessary the duties of a Brahmana, the duties of a Kshatriya, the duties of a Vaishya, the duties of a Shudra, depending on the situation, and still remain a Vaishnava. Is that the case?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much.
We find many devotees in our ISKCON, and they came from a very Brahminical family in India, and in the West, people came from a very wealthy family, maybe India, same. And we have one brahmachari in our Melbourne temple. He was actually a PhD, very intelligent. And after he became attracted to Krishna consciousness, and then he was cleaning toilet, a PhD. You don't find many PhD cleaning toilet, public toilet, like our ISKCON Melbourne. We have a toilet, everybody uses public and stuff. So if you say like I'm PhD, I don't clean, that's like beyond my, no way, you know what I mean? But because he understood, I'm serving Krishna, I am to be humble. Brahmanas are very humble, Vaishnavas are humble. So that based on the knowledge, so it's above. Vaishnavas are above these things. So that's why Prabhupada says, if you just stay where you are, you're not going to make move. You're not going to move. So if you're Vaishnava, you'll do anything. You can go and cook for Krishna. You can clean the toilet for Krishna. You can do pujari work. Next thing you are, driving to buy vegetables. So it's multi-purpose. That's the Vaishnava. Otherwise, our temple is going to be just not going to. Everyone's doing thing, and then wash our hand and bus. We're going to just do our thing and that's it. But if you're Vaishnava, we can do anything for Krishna. So that's the level we need to go on. I'm just saying a little bit for your question to expand the explanation, verify.
Well, thank you so much. Anyone else with something to ask or to share, please? Well, I always give thanks to Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada for bringing to us Krishna consciousness, for somebody like my crazy self to have the opportunity to become a Vaishnava. But talking about Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, how he was chanting all the time, and then he was reminded, hey, you have to preach. And I understand that in the Gaudiya month, the minimum rounds was 64. And Srila Prabhupada mercifully and gracefully gave us 16 rounds. And I'm wondering, during the time of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, because it takes about 7 minutes to finish one round, so approximately it takes about 2 hours to finish 16 rounds. And they were doing it 4 times, which means 8 hours, which is a full-time job. Now, I am wondering if a disciple has to spend 8 hours just to finish their rounds, how much time do you have to read? How much time if you are if you're not living in the ashram. So I'm thinking that there wouldn't be many Grihastha devotees during the Gaudiya Math time, because most of them will have to be resident devotees in order to be able to finish the 64 rounds. Was that the case, that there weren't many Grihastha outside devotees, those living outside the ashram during Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's time?
And I think during the time of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and Gauriya Math, mostly there was brahmacharis.
Mm.
Even in ISKCON, in Mayapur particularly, that's where I came from, it was a brahmachari era.
Yeah.
So, like if a grihastha came and said, "Oh, look at him, a grihastha," there was a lot of a commotion kind of a thing. And
Yeah.
so the majority is made up of brahmacharis. So if one grihastha just walked in, it's going to be everyone kind of look down. They didn't feel very comfortable. So it was kind of like that in a Gauriya Math too, those days. Of course, like I had so many, even I was like that. Oh yeah, master of brahmachari. And everybody said, oh yeah, wow, you should take sannyas. And then you end up becoming grihastha later on. And that's what happened to all of my friends. So I have to sometimes see things in long term. That's why Prabhupada did that. And in India, even in most of our temples, we don't allow Madajis to do puja, get on the altar and do deity worship. Only men, brahmacharis. But like here in Melbourne or America or European, we have less manpower. We need everybody. It's not just restricted to men to do deity worship. And so what are the women going to do? So Prabhupada took it to the next level. Of course, the standard is standard, but he was merciful. He engaged everyone in Krishna consciousness. So in terms of chanting 16 rounds and 64 rounds, I think those people who are grihastas, it wouldn't be easy for them to do 64 rounds because it take up a whole day. Where is the time to work? Even eat. You're gonna need all the time to finish your rounds, 24 hours practically. So it was based on an individual thing, where people were serious. That's what he was doing. Bhaktisiddhanta, very serious. He himself was a very strict Nastika brahmachari, and he is that type of a very macho sannyasi, very great devotee. We can't imitate him, that kind of sannyasi. So he was renowned for that. Very Nastika, Nishinga Guru, like a lion. So he emphasized 64 rounds for those who are on that kind of a caliber of a devotee. So he emphasized that people who can do, they can maintain and do that. At the same time, not everyone can reach that level, but the point was there for those who want to do. So now Prabhupada made it easier, 16 rounds, and go around, do your service. You want to take Prashadam? Fine. Halava, Puri, Sunday feast. So Prabhupada, he made it very practical because, in the Western country, that's why there was no person from Gauriya Math, except Prabhupada went to the West because Krishna sent him there because Krishna know that Prabhupada would be able to make it all just spiritually justify everything and make it easier for the people of the Western country. But Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was a different time, and it was very tough. I don't know if they're doing 64 rounds now. They're following ISKCON more.
I don't think so.
Yeah, they're following ISKCON these days because they are snatching our people. If you go to Yamad, you go to India, the Western devotees there.
Yeah.
So, and Western devotees, they can't do 64 rounds. They need some sense enjoyment. So Prabhupada made it easy. Take Prashadam and go to do your service. So to be practical. So the spiritual master, the expert, is mentioned. We sing those songs in the samsara prayers. The spiritual master engages his disciples perfectly according to their qualities, and however else keep them busy in Krishna consciousness according to their qualities. like that. That's Srila Prabhupada. It's His mercy on us. He saved us, Do your 16 rounds, quality rounds, and do your duty, service to Krishna throughout the day. And everybody loves it. Actually, Prabhupada himself wanted everyone to do 64 rounds in the beginning.
Yeah.
Prabhupada, he said, okay, 64 rounds, and everybody had their head like this. And then he Prabhupada saw everybody's, they can't do it. Then he said, okay, then you do 48 rounds. Everybody still had their head down. They said, okay, Prabhupada understood. They're not going to be able to do even 48 rounds. Then he said, okay, 32. Strap everybody like this, head down. Then he said 16 rounds minimum. That's it. Everybody said joy, because we can't do even 32 rounds.
Yeah.
But so 16 good rounds, get it done in the morning. Prabhupada made the schedule. Every temple we do our 16 rounds in the morning. Throughout the day we go do our services and whatever we have to do. So that's what Prabhupada is expert,
Very. Yeah. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for the answer. Shimamara Prabhu, please, you may unmute. Hare Krishna. Shimamara Acharya. I don't know. It seems.
Hare Krishna.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Okay. Yeah. So, Hare Krishna Prabhu, please accept my obligation. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna.
This issue of the caste system of an ashram, it's a very polemic subject. But I always wonder about something. Sorry, there's a big noise here. We are distributing food. Usually, everyone condemns the caste system, right? But it's still going on. It's still going on everywhere in the world.
Yeah.
If you observe what is happening, for instance, you cannot be admitted into medical school if your parents were not doctors or anyone in your family has not been a doctor. The military also, if you don't have an officer to guarantee you or an officer in your family, you cannot be admitted to the military academy, etc. And in businesses today, you find most parents, they just groom their children to take over the businesses. So I don't really see the difference of what was condemned. The world that we're living today, practically the same thing is still going on. It's just that it's not official. But people prefer that somebody who has been a son of a businessman should be the one to manage his business, not somebody else, etc. Medical practitioner, the same thing. Military, the same thing. So what is the difference? Why is this? There's only hypocrisy. That's what I can see. That people are condemning it, but it's actually going on. It's still going on. So that's my observation. And that's my first question. I don't know what your reaction is to that.
Okay. Where is that, Prabhu, the Keshava? Haribo?
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Okay. You mean the way to answer the question?
Can you explain a little bit because I couldn't hear the
It was
question.
breaking. Okay. He was saying that you talked about the caste system and how our acharyas and the scriptures condemn it. In fact, Prabhupada also spoke about it in this paper. So he is saying that as much as we condemn it today, because it was practiced in the past, even today, we still practice it. And so he was giving the example that oftentimes, if someone wants to become a medical doctor,
Yeah.
he only gets admitted into the medical school if the family were already into medicine. Like even in the military also, if your family are in the military, then it's easier to get into the military. And business also, if your parents or family are already into the business, then you get invited into a particular business. So as much as we condemn it, it's still happening in our world today. So is that not like a hypocrisy when we say this
Yeah.
should be condemned, but it's still going on? So that is his question.
Well, he's not exactly condemning it, but he need Srila Prabhupada, when he says something, he also clarifies it. So, he mentions that Kivabi Prakevanasi, that ultimately they're talking about, he's making the point of becoming Vaishnava. So to be a Vaishnava is the highest thing. That's why he's emphasizing. Now, he gives the example of a person who is a doctor. Like if you are born in the family, your parents or mother or father might be a doctor or a nurse. It doesn't mean automatically a son or a daughter is becoming a doctor. They still need to go and study it. So we're not condemning anything, but we're condemning that ultimately that what makes a Brahmana is by character, not by birth. You know what I mean? So if my parents are doctor, they had to go to get the degree. They also had to study it. So if my father and mother a doctor, doesn't mean I'm a doctor automatically. I still need to study like them. But they can help you. They can assist you because your parents are doctor. So similarly, those who are born in a Brahmin family, that doesn't mean they're automatically Brahmana. So they have to acquire the quality. That's the point. So all the people in the Western country, Prabhupada installed Krishna consciousness, established Krishna in America and Europe, in Europe and all over the world. These people, they are Brahmanas, Vaishnava now, because they studied it. They got the blessing of Prabhupada, initiated. So the idea, we're not condemning anything. You have to follow the process. The process is there to rise above in the platform of Krishna consciousness. So everything has a system. So people are born in a Brahmin family in India. So some of these people, they don't have the qualities of Brahmana, but they say, yeah, I'm a Brahmana. So we're not just saying it. You have to follow the system. The system is there. You can still become a Kshatriya if you go to military school. You can still be a doctor. These things are all there. But we are saying to be a Vaishnava, you can do anything for Krishna. You can be a Kshatriya, you can be a Brahmana. These things are already there in the Vaishnava. It's the highest character. But if you're a Brahmana, doesn't mean you can just do Brahminical quality. But we're emphasizing to be a Vaishnava. You can be the higher than Brahmana. It's all there within you. It's topmost Vaishnava. That's the point.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. There is a follow-up.
Yeah.
There's a follow-up question.
Uh-huh.
There is it is mentioned again and again that Brahmanas, we cannot have true Brahmanas in Kali Yuga. There are no more true Kshatriyas.
Uh-huh.
But I want to believe that the Vaishnavas are considered to be superior to any of these Varnashram orders. That Vaishnava is superior. That is it. That is our philosophy, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Now, my question is, it is said that it is not possible to have a qualified Brahmana
Uh-huh.
now in Kali Yuga. but then the Brahmanas are considered inferior to Vaishnavas. But it is possible to become Vaishnava. I hope you're following me. It is not possible to be proper Brahmana in this age. But Vaishnavas are superior to Brahmanas. But it is possible to become Vaishnavas. Well, what makes the difference? Why is it that it is possible to become Vaishnava, which is superior, and it is not possible to be a Brahmana, which is inferior? So can you explain that? What's the logic?
I get your point. See, previously, other yugas, everything was very much classified because everything was in orderly. So it's like if you want to find something now, you have to look for that Brahmana who actually, if you so many Brahmanas there, but among them you have to look for one. But nowadays it's tough. But doesn't mean, like I said, there are people who are, even if they are not Brahmana, but they have the qualities of a Brahmana. Even today, they are maybe they're not even actually born in a Brahman family, but you find if you're working outside and you have so many colleagues of your friend, among them you find someone who is very, very peaceful, you're attracted to his character. So and he maybe he agrees what you say. He's very shanti, very peaceful. He likes to study, and he's very quiet. Qualities of a Brahmana, but he is not born in a Brahman family, anything like that. So, like this, a Vaishnava is he doesn't say I'm a great Vaishnava. He also need to express his qualities via Vaishnava, and not just a Vaishnava dress. I'm a Vaishnava, you are a Shudra. But he has to be also know the principle of a Vaishnava. So it's a tricky thing. But at the same time, those who are actually Vaishnava is sifted out like those Brahmanas. You have to know who is a Brahmana, who is a Vaishnava. So when you look through the sieve, then that is difficult to find these days. But there are Brahmanas actually, and there are Vaishnavas. So Prabhupada is mentioning one is not it's not enough to be just a Brahmana. One has to be Vaishnava. But it's not one is better than the other. But obviously, according to the Prabhupada, according to the system, the Vaishnava is the best. Why? Because the Vaishnavas are Krishna Bhakta, they're preaching Krishna consciousness. Basically, only that's the difference. But Brahmanas, one has to actually at least come to the platform of Brahmana. And from the Brahmana platform, one can come to the next level, Vaishnava. But it's connected. But then once you're Vaishnava, you're already Brahmana. But you need to still come to the platform of Brahmana. This is how I know. So people in the Western country in the beginning, they're not Vaishnava or Brahmana. They're basically Shudra. But then, by Prabhupada's mercy, they understand what is what through the knowledge that Prabhupada gave us. Then they become a good Brahmana, Brahmanically character, taking clean shower 3 times a day and being behaved yourself, come to the platform of Brahmana. And then from there, they become Vaishnava. So that's interrelated from the platform of Brahmana. So there are people who are born in a Brahman family in India. And then from there, gradually, they become Vaishnava. So it's not very difficult to understand. You can know what is a Brahmana, what is a Vaishnava, according to his character. But at least you need to become a Brahmana in the beginning. And then from there, you understand, oh, this is the Vaishnava. And from there, from a Brahminical platform, you come to the next level as a Vaishnava. So one is better than the other. Just that we are putting Krishna in the middle and it becomes perfect. Just like when you make sweet rice. Or when you cook, you make dal, you make dal, you make chapati, sabji, but then you forget to cook rice because the rice is the main dish, right? Similarly, you can be a perfect Brahmana, but then you don't have Krishna consciousness, you don't have Krishna, you're simply studying the Vedas. Then when you put Krishna, you become perfect, you become a Vaishnava. So like that, when you make preparations, the main preparation is the rice, and then there's dal, and then there's sabji. So that adding Krishna, then when you become Krishna's devotee, you add Krishna, it becomes perfect, you become Vaishnava. That's the highest. That I try to explain to you in this way a little bit. Okay?
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. Just last point.
Yes.
Point.
Yes.
So we have the Varnashram system,
Mm-hmm.
and you, like you rightly said, the Brahmana is the head. So Srila Prabhupada also desired that the second part of his mission should be to the establishment of an ashram.
Yes.
So today, it has become a big polemic in ISKCON since we are bogged down to many things, and many are even saying that Vanashram is not realistic these days, etc., etc. But the point I want to raise here is that according to the Vanashram system, Brahmanas are the head of the society.
Uh-huh.
Brahmanas are the head of the society. It is not Vaishnavas that are mentioned to be the head of the society. It's the Brahmanas.
Yeah.
Which means, according to my understanding, that being a Vaishnava may not be a prerequisite to have Brahmins guiding the society.
Uh-huh.
Because Krishna said, Chatuvayam Maya Sristam.
Yes.
So, Brahmana Kshatriya, he did not say Vaishnava Kshatriya. He said Brahmana Kshatriyas.
Yeah.
So, how do we respond if somebody says, I mean, this is well, anyway, are we being scriptural or are we inventing something new? Can you please explain that?
Okay, so that's true. The Varnashram system, according to Krishna, that's the division of the society, like I was explaining, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, that Krishna said, I created these 4 ashrams. And this vision has to be there because this is how we manage the society. So Prabhupada wanted to establish that, but at the same time, like you see, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he was criticized. He used to wear leather shoe and Western clothes. He was criticized for that at that time by the Brahmanas, actually. And they were very upset. So he took to the preaching in the next level. So a sannyasi is not supposed to cross the sea. But Prabhupada went to America and he was criticized. So at the same time, Krishna speaks is true, but you can call a Vaishnava Brahmana. A Vaishnava Brahmana is the highest. So Brahmana is the highest, but at the same time, a Vaishnava Brahmana. A Vaishnava Brahmana is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We are known as the Gauriya Vaishnava. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he embraced the Shudras. And the Brahmanas didn't like that. And we are Gauriya Vaishnava because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we are in the line of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu operated in Bengal. That's why Bengal is known as Gauranga or Gauradesh. We are the follower of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he made everyone a Vaishnava. He embraced the Shudras, made them Vaishnava, even at that time, 500 years ago. So there was Brahmanas that time, and the Brahmanas criticized Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the sannyasi. So, and there is a story of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was sitting at the Prakashananda Saraswati's house. He was sitting next to all the shoes, and he said, "No, I'm humble. Come inside." But he was sannyasi, so he was very humble. And Brahmanas are humble also, but some Brahmanas very proud. They're proud of their knowledge, their study, but they were attracted by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by his humility. So you can see if you go deeper into the character of a Vaishnava, you will know that actually the highest platform is Vaishnava, not just a Brahmana. But the Brahminical quality must be there. That's why Krishna says, for ashram, the head of the society is the Brahmana, because Brahmanas must be there to guide the society. But then at the same time, that Brahmana, he is thinking, I want to serve Krishna. I will clean the pot for Krishna. I'll cook for Krishna. I will clean the garbage. I will go and buy the bhoga for Krishna. So that's the Vaishnava. It's multi-purpose. So obviously Krishna explains of the Brahmana, but he is also a Vaishnava Brahmana. That makes a perfect Brahmana. That makes him the best Brahmana. He is Vaishnava. So the difference is not simply a Brahmana, but also he is a perfect Vaishnava. A perfect Brahmana becomes a perfect Vaishnava. So it's not that you are Brahmana, you are Vaishnava. There's a different thing. A good Brahmana, it becomes a good Vaishnava. Because Brahmana means one who knows the knowledge. The knowledge, and that's why Prabhupada said in the Bhagavad, in that purport, Vedanta, he knows the goal of the Vedanta, the knowledge. He is a Brahmana, Vaishnava. He becomes a Vaishnava because he has perfect knowledge as a Brahmana. A perfect Brahmana, he knows the goal of the Vedanta, the scriptures, then he becomes a Vaishnava. So that's interrelated. The Vaishnava Brahmana.
Well, thank you so much, Prabhuji, for the
It's a very long topic.
answers. Yeah, it's a very long topic. Shema Vara Acharya Prabhu, I hope you're satisfied with the answer, at least for now. Anyone else before we call it a day today? Shri Harichakra Prabhu, please you may unmute.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Dandava Pranam Prabhu.
Hare Krishna,
All
Hare
glories to Prabhupada, all glories to you. Yeah, in line of the question that Vara Prabhu was asking, it's always been my little bit of a confusion about devotees. Like when we say a devotee, who actually is a devotee? Because when you were explaining, during your explanation, when you explained that even though there are some people who might not have aligned themselves to Krishna conscious ISKCON, but somehow or the other, some of them might possess some Brahmanical qualities, and some may be possessing some little bit of Kshatriya qualities. So, I mean, when we say a devotee, does it necessarily mean that somebody must align him or herself with our movement or with the ISKCON for us to be able to refer to that person as a devotee? Because I usually hear we should avoid we should avoid the association of non-devotees. We should avoid the association. So how do we classify who is a devotee and who is not a devotee?
Here's the thing is, it's not our job to go around, okay, you are a Brahmana, you are a Shudra, I don't like you, I like you, we are simply stamping. So you have to be careful to go around sifting it out like that. But we can be very observative in our practices. But at the same time, my point is everybody has a tinge of the character of the Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. That is natural. We are born into different characters. You may be born in the Shudra family, but that person may have the character of a Vaishnava, or he may be having a character of a Kshatriya. So everyone's mixed in Kali Yuga. No one is pure Vaishnava. So we're trying to be Vaishnava. We're not purely Vaishnava yet. We're still tinged in our own character. But it's not our job to go around, so you are a Kshatriya or Vaishya. But we can be observative. We can observe others and see, okay, you're like this. So obviously we disassociate with karmis, not so. But if I am a Vaishnava, but I have a job, I have to go to work and mix with non-devotees, that's going to be there. But we are going to also, we're not going there to become a karmi or non-devotee, because our job we have to go to work every day and mix with people. So when we are mixing with people, doesn't mean that we become one of them. We are giving our association with them. We can take some knowledge from a Shudra and apply in Krishna consciousness if it is advisable, if it is feasible. So we can mix around at the same time, even though everyone is not perfect. We're not perfect Vaishnava either. We're trying to be Vaishnava. So you can say I'm just a Shudra, but I'm trying to be Vaishnava. Either way, we are none of these things. We are actually eternal servant of Krishna. Jive Sarupaya Krishna Nityadas. It didn't say in the spiritual world, it's not like everyone is going around, I'm a Shudra, I'm a Vaishnava, and I'm a Kshatriya, I'm a Vaishya. Everyone is servant of Krishna, eternal servant of Krishna. There's that verse that explains that. So we are all eternal servant of Krishna. It's not like in the spiritual world there is so much division. You're all part of Krishna's servant. But in the material world, these things are there to manage the society. So there's characteristics accordingly to run the society harmoniously. These 4 ashrams are there. But ultimately, we are not all of this. I'm not Sutra, I'm not Brahmana, Kivavi, PRABHAV. We're not sannyasi. I'm the servant of Krishna. So when you have that knowledge of ultimately servant of Krishna, then you are a Vaishnava. It's simple.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
thank you. Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Dr. Hassan, please you may unmute. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Your Grace, please kindly accept my respectful obeisances.
Hare Krishna.
Kindly forgive me, maybe if the question I'm about to answer, about to ask, maybe if it has answered, maybe I did not hear. So, Your Grace, my question is, somebody who is initiated in Krishna consciousness, is this person considered to be a Vaishnava or just a devotee, normal devotee? Because sometimes we used to say that I want to have a Vaishnava family, I want to associate myself with Vaishnava. So does it include everybody or just to specific devotees? Hare Krishna.
Yeah, in English we call it devotee.
Okay.
But actually we are Vaishnava. But we're just saying we are devotee. But Prabhupada didn't tell us you are. He basically we're all Vaishnavas. So if you're initiated into Vaishnava line. So right now we are calling it devotee, but actually you are Vaishnava. But then to explain to people, to make people understand, if I speak to someone who doesn't know anything, If I say Vaishnava, they say, what's Vaishnava? Then you say it's a devotee of Krishna. So basically, it's just terms that we use. But actually, we're all Vaishnavas in line, but devotees of Krishna. But if you're initiated, automatically you're Vaishnava. But we're not touching different things. We're not telling everyone at the time of initiation, you are just a devotee, you're Shudra devotee. We're telling you, you're Vaishnava. So basically, our point of understanding is that we're in the Vaishnava line, like that.
Okay, thank you. Because I asked this question because along the line when you are explaining, you were saying that you have to become a Brahmana before you become a Vaishnava. So
I said that.
I was a little bit confused about that. That's why I'm asking this question.
Yeah.
If
you are like most people are not Brahmana, they're not born in the Brahmin family, but Prabhupada made everyone Vaishnava. But if I am to explain it, like suppose in India, so I'm talking to an Indian particularly, then you have to tell them, because they're always talking about Brahmana. So in that case, I will tell them, like, listen, you need to at least be a Brahmana. You have to give up tea and biscuit and eating chicken, this, that, come to a Brahmana platform.
Oh, okay.
You'll become a Vaishnava. Sometimes you have to explain it in that way. Or suppose you're in America, I'm not going to say, you have to be Brahmana first, because they don't know what is Brahmana. But if I'm talking to certain class of people, I need to mention it, like particularly like Indian family. Like our movement now dominated by Indians. If you go any temple in the US or Europe, so many Indians. But they need to understand this. Oh yeah, they're very proud. I'm a Brahmana, so you can say, okay, your Brahmana is good. Now to step up to the next level, become Vaishnava. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for the explanation. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Well, Hare Krishna. Thank you all devotees. And thank you so much, our revered uncle, our revered speaker for today, His Grace Prabhu. And I believe we may bring this to a close. It's been about 90 minutes. So probably like I said at the beginning of the katha today, that we cannot fully express our gratitude for your appearance here every now and then because of the time difference.
Yeah.
The time difference, it always gives me so much pain when I know you come in to speak. As much as I love to hear you speak, but it's also a pain in my heart knowing how odd the time is, because the program starts at 2 o'clock in the morning, your time, which is a very odd time. But somehow you've been so kind and merciful upon us and coming to us to share your love and wisdom with us. So thank you so much. And with that being said, dear devotees, we're going to humbly request you all to kindly unmute, and we all chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra to express our appreciation to our revered speaker, His Grace Prabhu, for sharing his love and wisdom with us today. Jai. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Vanchakarpataru Vyascha, Kripasinubhyascha, Pavajnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. His Grace Prabhavadas Prabhu ki jai. His company Shila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you very much.
Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinde ki jai. Sai Gora Piminande. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Hare